makes most women start a business? Is it passion, money, or freedom? Welcome to Female Founders, the podcast that takes you behind the scene with women who are founders and CEOs to help you start and scale a successful business of your own. I am your host, Nagelia de Ravin. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Female Founders. Today's conversation will be with Heather Talamante, the founder of Tell Us About Yourself Inc. Heather is a senior certified HR professional with over 20 years of HR experience. She started Tell Us About Yourself Inc., a non-profit organization to support her local community with career education and mentorship. Hi Heather, thank you for taking the time to join me, and I'm looking forward to an insightful conversation with you regarding your nonprofit and also about all the things you have been doing. Can you tell us about your background and what inspired you to create Tell Us About Yourself Inc.?
It's a great question, and I have over 20 years experience in human resources. So I'm actually currently a human resources business partner. And a lot of what I saw when I was doing the recruiting aspect of my role was some individuals that maybe just needed a little bit of help, a little more education in how to complete, their resume, their interview, or just workplace conversations in general. So, I had received my bachelor's degree in 2021 and thought, okay, what do I want to do with that? I got my degree. I have this HR experience, what's next? And I really felt I could leverage my experience in human resources to support my local community with career support and career advice. So it's kind of where it started. And the name came from, usually when you interview, the first thing you ask someone in any really either professional or casual interview is, tell me a little bit about yourself. So that's really where the name came from. And I felt like it was definitely perfect for what I was trying to accomplish.
You are absolutely right. That's the first question. Oh my goodness. So you just make it straight to the point so people can understand pretty much what you do and how you can help them.
Right. Yes. So, and I spend a lot of time helping individuals create that elevator speech for themselves, because really when you are sitting down at the interview table, it's important that you say, this is who I am, this is what I have to offer your organization, and really nailing that conversation. And it's often the very beginning, it starts the conversation of the interview. So just really helping individuals advocate and, elevate themselves to be able to have that conversation and feel confident when they do it.
Yes, I love that. So now, as a senior certified HR professional with over 20 years of experience, as you just told us, what motivated you to support your local community with career education and mentorship?
I had really started doing it more casually. So I would sign up to help local organizations with mock interviews. Any friends, family, anyone within my organization, we do a lot of organizational development. So we help individuals prepare for the next step in their career. So I really just leveraged that for the community, and that's really where it came from. I really wanted to make sure that I was spending my time on things that mattered and the people that mattered. And HR, although people are supposed to know how to fill out a resume, when were they taught? Who told them? And, the marketplace changes so often. So supporting the community is something that's really important to me before. And then being able to leverage my HR experience it was a perfect parlay for me.
And you are right about that when you said that who taught us? No one really. They're like, oh, you need a resume. All right, Google resume. How do I create one? And then you end up with a resume. But you know what? 99% of time, it's not even what you're supposed to be having in it. Maybe you're supposed to have something different to prove to that job that you can actually get this thing done. But you try to do it yourself, which is not the right way. So I guess what you are saying is something that we really, really need the help. And sometimes we don't have the money also to reach out to people to help us create one.
Yeah, and usually the resume writers will kind of charge you quite a bit to create a resume. It's anywhere from $100 to $200 to create a professional resume. When I feel like teaching and educating someone how to do it, it creates a lifetime skill that they'll be able to take with them. And I don't charge my clients. I think that just helping them and supporting them to learn a new skill is more effective, in my opinion.
Exactly. When you teach them how to do something, also they can go out and teach it to someone else.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
So now, can you describe the mission and goals of the organization itself, and what services do you offer to your clients?
Sure. The mission is to support our local community with career services, and those services are offered for free. And I'm sorry, I missed your second question. Is it? I'm sorry, I missed the second part of your question. I'm sorry.
The goals.
The goals. So our goal is to offer resume support, interviewing support, career support, and I do a lot of workshops and training. I go create content for, our local newspaper. I go on our local news station and talk about HR advice. Again, everything kind of attaches under the umbrella of education and giving awareness to something that sometimes is confidential. Like, again, HR has this veil of secrecy where there's let me know what I need to do. How am I supposed to have a conversation? How do I ask for a promotion? I'm being written up. What am I supposed to do? What's my responsibility in that? Should I just find another job? There's so many questions that people have. So the mission really is just to support in any way possible. So anyone that calls and says, "Hey, I have a question. I've never encountered this. You're an HR expert. What's your advice?" And just taking the time to talk them through those scenarios is really the overall mission.
And I love what you said in the first sentence. It's free.
Yeah.
So now,
$3.99.
But you are providing your services for free. So how do the organization bring money in?
I have funded the organization to this point. I'm trying to get to a point, post-COVID, of doing speaking engagements that will be compensated. So I do have a federal 501c3 set up. So I have had some individuals that have donated and whatnot. And the money that's donated, 100% of that goes to individuals that need more financial support. And what that looks like is it could be, rideshare services. Maybe I don't have a vehicle, but I need to get to an interview. Some individuals will need IDs and they will need money to get the ID. Daycare services. So I haven't had to help anyone with this area, but I collect donations just in the event that somebody does need some, maybe there's a drop-in daycare or something like that they could utilize. So they can take that hour or two and go to an interview and potentially get a job. And the most frequent thing that I use the donations for is clothing. I know there's a ton of organizations here locally in Albuquerque. There's a ton of wonderful organizations that offer clothing. Some of them are used or gently used, but there is nothing like walking into a store, picking out that killer outfit and just feeling like a powerhouse, and you just feel amazing in your skin, and it's something that fits you that you were able to pick out. So I provide those services with any donations that come in. Any of the support, advice, and career services are offered by me, and I don't charge for that.
Oh my goodness. This is amazing. So you think outside the box for everything they will need to actually go get that job.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of my clients, not a lot, but some of them, are in situations where, domestic violence is a concern, right? And part of domestic violence is financial abuse. So if I have one vehicle, I take that vehicle. So you're not able to go out and get an interview and find a job. So trying to navigate those situations and support clients that also need support in that area has been the absolute highlight of my life. I think getting those individuals some additional support so that they can get out of situations that maybe aren't the best or are not ideal for them.
May I ask you that why personally you feel like you have to go all the extra step to make the impossible possible for them?
I think someone has to, and I feel I'm perfectly capable of doing that. If I am able to do something for someone, I will always extend a hand to individuals that need support. Someone, I think sometimes you're put on this earth for a certain purpose, and I feel like that's my purpose. And when I found my purpose, I feel like it brings me so much joy and light in my life to say, okay, I can do this. I can help these clients. I can get them the help that they need. And, it's such a wonderful feeling when they write back or they call and say, oh my gosh, I got that job. And it was because you helped me. And, I got out of this situation, or I'm in a better financial situation because you answered this question about asking for a promotion. I think for me, it doesn't feel like it's going above and beyond, or it's going to the end of the earth. It really
Max?
is just going to the end of my capabilities. So if I have the capability to support and I have the capability to do something for you, then I will absolutely do whatever I can to make something possible for anybody that reaches out. Even if they reach out outside of the nonprofit, anyone just in my sphere of influence.
But you know what, Heather? I interviewed so many people in the past year, and I can't anyone that will do such a thing. I mean, like, have that open heart to say, I'm going to go to the extreme limit and help that. For me, that's how I see it. It's like a very, you are supporting where you don't have to. But for whatever reason, you decide to do so. That's not something you find a lot on this earth. You just don't find it all the time.
Yeah, and I love it. I truly feel like if there's something I can do to help, I'm happy to do it. I also have the privilege of teaching at the local community college. So this style of HR, how I like to be an HR professional, I'm teaching to the next generation because I think it's important in how I treat them as students. And I think you give someone psychological safety and you make them feel comfortable to share and open up, and you really open up their possibilities. You can take a little peek into their soul a little bit, and you can say, hey, I see you and I'm here for you, whatever you need. And I think it's a great opportunity to just share that kindness and that consideration and care for others. And the nonprofit was just my little official stamp of things that I had been doing in my career. So it's been really nice to kind of collect all of my efforts and encapsulate it in this nonprofit and be able to share with my community and the individuals at large, I guess, anyone that needs some support.
You are here to help them.
Yes, I'm here to help. It's one of my favorite phrases. How can I help?
How can I help?
How can I help?
So, what are some of the biggest obstacles that your clients face when searching for employment, and how do you help them overcome these challenges?
I think the biggest thing is the resume. That's so overwhelming to put together. I think there's so many templates, there's so many YouTube videos, there's so many just information overload. Some guidance says it has to be 1 page, some says it could be 20 pages, and what do I do? And oh my gosh, the cover letter is so confusing. I think if you ask somebody to put together a cover letter, they instantly just, no, I'll do anything else. I'll clean the bathrooms, I'll clean the gutters, like anything else before I have to create a cover letter. And so I give them templates. So I have some really good templates that I use. So that's the biggest part of what I do, is just giving a template and giving a critical review of that template gives them the confidence to say, okay, this looks good. There's nothing, it's in the right template. It's in the right font. It's got just enough information and actually the key information that needs to be on there. So I would say that's a majority of what I do on a regular basis. Yeah. So that's the biggest thing for individuals.
So now, how has your experience as a single mother and working full-time influenced your approach to leadership and supporting others in their career goals?
I think I have 3 children, so I have 6 eyes looking at me every day, and I think it's important to make sure what they see is magic. You can make anything happen. Us moms have the ability to do anything we put our mind to. I mean, we birthed humans and we brought them into this world, and I want to make sure that the world that they're in and everything that they have visibility to, it reflects what I want them to go out and do. So I'd like to see that. It's my favorite thing when they do something similar. They see someone in need and they help them, or, just hearing HR conversations a lot in the home, and hearing them give like really good advice where it starts with, I recommend, you do this to handle that situation. It kind of makes me giggle, but it's really just a matter of they're always watching and they're listening. And I hope that what they are listening to and watching me do just gives them inspiration, and hopefully they'll go out as they get older and be that voice for people that don't have a voice or need some help or some support. So yeah, that's the biggest thing about being a single mom and being a mom in general. I think it's important that you show your kids that how powerful you are and how powerful you can be with just small actions every day. Because really the nonprofit isn't something that takes up hours every day, right? It's a couple hours a week here and there, depending on, and it could be more or less depending on what's going on. But small actions like that have a major, major impact on their lives. And really, they're my inspiration for everything I do. I hope that they just know that everything that I do is for them, and to show them a really good example of what a strong, powerful woman really is.
I love what you said, because I didn't really realize how kids follow the parents until I have my son. Everything I was doing, he will do it until I'm like, oh, I am that person you will be following for the next few years until you find yourself. So I have to make sure that whatever I do, it's not going to hurt you, but it will benefit you later on in your life. So I completely understand where you are coming from with that. And I think that children they are our purpose in life. And for me, at least when I gave birth, my purpose was born. And that's how I see it as well.
Yes, absolutely. They're everything.
So now you started this nonprofit organization. It's going great. And I know that you have way bigger goals and vision for it. So where do you want to take it?
I think when I started it, I really just wanted to create this really cool program and opportunity for the community. And really, I didn't expect what it turned into was really a lot of education, a lot of speaking events, a lot of supporting the community. My goal is to say yes. So again, if somebody reaches out, I work at the local community college, but I had a university podcast the other day. They wanted to hear what I had to say, and just taking those opportunities to share my thought process and my insight is something that it's really grown into. It's my voice, and I'm using it for good in the community and really advocating for individuals that need it. I create a lot of networking and connections so that if I do have a client that needs a position, I can say, hey, I know somebody at this organization you would be great. And I create that introduction. So that's something that's built over time. You start with your little baby network, and then it grows and grows and grows. And then people find out what you're doing and they want to jump in and help as well. So, having done recruiting for many, many years of my career, if I bring you a candidate, I have recruited. So I don't bring you a candidate that's not, somebody I've vetted and said, hey, this person would be great for your organization. So honestly, my vision for this is just to continue to grow that network and grow the possibilities for those that leverage my skills and my networking ability, and being able to connect them with the right people at the right time when they need it. And it's been really fun. So I honestly, I just keep wanting to do this, and I'll keep taking every opportunity I can to leverage my skills for the community. But yeah, that's my goal, just to keep doing what I'm doing and helping as many people as possible.
Do you also provide your services outside of the country, or you just focus in one state? What is it a global?
No, it's not. It's pretty local. I did go to a university in Arizona. So my professors that I had, there was part of some of our assignments was to create a resume and our cover letter and whatnot. And so I told the professors at that time, I'm like, hey, I'm in HR. All the students in this class can send me their stuff and I'll review it for the assignment. Well, since then, those iterations of students have, as those professors continue to teach classes, I get iterations of students that come and send me their resume still. So United States is primarily where I would say I wouldn't limit it, but most of my support is here locally here in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
But if anyone within the country itself reach out, you wouldn't say no to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, all my network and whatnot is kind of in this area. So if it's just a resume support or advice in general, absolutely. But yeah, more nationally, it's just more the career support for sure and advice.
So what advice would you give to someone who is currently struggling to find work or feeling discouraged in their job search?
I think the job climate has changed so significantly in the last 2 years. It's really important to keep pushing for your goals. So if your goal is to find a remote position and you have a certain salary that you're looking for, continue to push for that and advocate for yourself in the job hunting space. As things change, continue to apply and keep track of all of your applications is something I recommend as well. Keep a spreadsheet of all the places that you've applied and follow up on those applications. Because the job space is definitely unique right now, and it's turned over a couple of times in the last couple of years, and we had this mass hiring, and now there's kind of some layoffs happening, and it's a little bit harder to get a position right now. So, making sure your resume is specific to the role that you're applying for, has good, all the experience, and continue to keep applying and keep interviewing until you find that perfect spot that matches what you need. I don't recommend just taking something to get a job, but I know that happens because we all need to have expenses and need to pay our bills. But yeah, some people are doing that right now, and then they're kind of hopping because the job they really wanted calls back 3 weeks after they start their job. So just be mindful of that, because that's happening a lot right now. People are hearing back after they've already started a position, and your resume kind of takes a little bit of a hit with that. So that's something I've noticed as well.
So do you think that in near future you will partner with corporations and to be able to help your community get better job?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I think I'll have to see how it goes, but I think, if there's any like nonprofits and things like that, or any individuals in the community working for companies, my full-time job is in HR, so I do work for an organization. However, it's really is my priority to on my nonprofit to just focus on those that really are the underserved in our community. We have so many individuals that don't have access to information and resources. So that's really kind of where my niche is, where I'm really trying to focus, because I'm already supporting a large organization in my 9 to 5.
I understand. So in your opinion, what are some of the most important skills or qualities that job seekers should have in order to succeed in their career search?
I think having emotional intelligence is really important. Being able to understand the importance of your role in a conversation or in a situation. And that comes with strong customer service, communication skills, willingness to learn, and being open. And even when you're interviewing, just being open about, hey, I have never experienced this specific scenario or situation, but here's what I would do based on the information I have, and here's what resources I would utilize to find the answer. So I think that skill set, the ability to say, I don't know it all, but I'm willing to learn, is something that's really key that a lot of recruiters will tune into. Like, okay, they know they don't have all the answers, because really we read a job description for this ideal candidate, this perfect model of what will come into our organization and just absolutely save us all. But what's in the actual candidate pool, maybe 50-50. So you kind of have to pick what you want, and the individuals that have that real willingness to learn and that positive can-do attitude are really the ones that will stand out. And maybe if your experience is a little bit less, you'll still get the role because you're willing to work, and you're open to coaching, you're open to feedback, all of those things that we want to work with someone like that. So I think that's what's important when we look at what you're looking for in an organization, or what the organization is looking for, and how to navigate that. And what they're really picking right now is really your skill set, your soft skills.
So now, do you think that people that are willing to learn get promoted a lot faster?
I think so. I absolutely think so, because there is no point in your career in any kind of corporate environment that I've worked in where you will know everything. And the minute that you say, I know everything, you've failed. because you should always be learning. You should always be growing. You should either be learning from your team, your coworkers, from your boss. You should have a mentor. We always have an opportunity to learn and grow. So I think that's something that's really important.
So it's always be open-minded instead of trying to, I know it all.
It's that growth mindset. It's just knowing that you need to grow and what do I need to do to get there? Setting goals for yourself and kind of continuing to push and push and push. And, having career development conversations with your manager is helpful because they can give you the opportunities you need in maybe areas where you don't know all of the answers or you don't have all of the information. I think that growth mindset and being willing to learn is critical to being promoted. Honestly, that's my opinion.
So now you are helping so many people. You are funding your nonprofit organization. So how can people help you?
I think creating a network of professionals that are willing to, open their organizations to some of my clients would be really helpful. I think that's the biggest thing. I post a lot on LinkedIn. I'll post my client's resume and say, hey, I have this candidate and I've worked with them, and I'll give them a shout out. So on LinkedIn, it has this really cool button. It's one, maybe two button clicks, share, repost with thoughts. Yes. And you get to repost it with your network. I think that's the biggest thing we can do for candidates right now, especially because the job market is kind of crazy right now, is share their profile so they get exposure to a bigger and bigger network. So I think that's something that individuals can help me with, to be honest, is share the information, and a couple clicks and you can move on with your day. But that person may have exposure to thousands of people because of that.
Yes, I agree with you on that. So also how can people support Tell Us About Yourself, Inc.?
So it is a 501c3, so donations are always welcome. I really advocate for using those donations for my clients and getting them what they need to get a job. And like I said, 100% of that goes into supporting my clients and getting them what they need to be successful.
And they can go on your website and make a donation?
Yep, at tellusaboutyourself.org. There's a donation option, and I take donations through PayPal, so it's really easy.
It's fast and easy.
Yes.
Any advice do you have for women that's starting out?
I think if you're a woman that's starting out, it's important to use your voice and use it because it's powerful. Every word that comes out of your mouth comes from a place of kindness and compassion and knowledge. And having I wish I could, some women that I work with, I wish I'm like, you are so strong, you are so powerful, you have so much valuable insight, and I just want you to use your voice. We sometimes silence ourselves because we don't consider ourselves the smartest person in the room. Maybe, you're a little unsure of your opinion because, we all have self-doubt. So my advice to women is to use your voice. It's powerful, it's meaningful, and honestly, we want to hear what you have to say.
Exactly. And I think that when you share your voice, you are also helping the next generation, your children. Mm-hmm. You are making a difference in this world. So you'll be surprised how powerful that can be.
Yes. And it's contagious. So if you're brave enough to speak up in a situation, there's somebody watching you, and that person will realize that they too can use their voice, and that positive reinforcement is always helpful too. As women, we have this network and we have this ability to lean on one another and watch and model others' behaviors. So hopefully what they're seeing is you're strong, powerful, and you're using your voice, and they're going to follow too because you led the way.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Heather, for taking the time to have this conversation with me and sharing your knowledge. And what you are doing is amazing as a single parent and a single mother. Doing all that you do, it's amazing because I know how it can be as a mother to struggle, especially you have 3. So it's a lot of work. It's not easy. Yes. So, and you still find the time to have a full-time job, to start a nonprofit organization that can support others and support them way more than anyone can possibly think of. And I think that's powerful. And that's a great message that you are sending to our children, also to other people in this world, that when we help each other, we are better.
Right. Absolutely. Definitely. Let's lift everyone up.
Thank you for listening to Female Founders Podcast. That's it for this week's episode. Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast app or connect with us on womel.com so that you don't miss our next episode. See you next time. Bye for now.